Okay, here we go. Transformers #1 Energon universe. Let's begin. Well, the first page, as you can see, looks more of like a remembrance page. That's Spike's dad there, remembering some things happening in the war. You see the Ark spaceship in the second panel. It looks like it's just flying into Earth. And there you see Optimus Prime, a non-functioning Optimus Prime, just laying there dead. And then we get into the family aspect here of Spike and his father. You can see his dad just sitting at the bar drinking. Looks like he's dealing with a depression, something that's happened in his life that was hard to deal with. And Spike is like, "Dad, come on, man. Come on. You're better than this. You're better than this." And his dad's just saying, "No, I got to get to work." And his friend Davey shows up and is like, "Hey, you want to ride to the night shift?" He's like, "Yeah." And he's telling Spike here, "You got to grow up, man. You got to grow up." Spike's like, "Well, I'm leaving. I'm going out with Carly and we're going to go look at stars." Because what Spike can't tell his father is that he wants to become an astronaut. And we get our first look here at Carly, and she's got one of those 80s style vans you can see with the artwork on the side. And so they're heading out. They're heading out to a new spot to go look at some stars. They find this mountain. They're going up there, and Carly's trying to let him know. It's like, "Hey, you need to tell your dad what you want to be. You just need to tell him and get it over with." And they just have a little moment while they're setting up the telescope. Then all of a sudden, boom, it breaks and they fall into the mountain. And it appears that they're both okay. And there you see it, the back of the Ark. And they're just like, "Where are we? What is this place?" And we finally get our first shot of the Transformers. And I love it because it's all G1 inspiration. You can see Optimus Prime there, Soundwave, Starscream. They're just laying there. They're all dead. And who knows how long they have been there. And if you could see off into the distance, you could see Jetfire. He's finally found them. And he shows up, all while Spike and Carly are like, "What is going on here?" And Jetfire's like, "My fallen friends, it's finally time." And he goes over to Teletran 1. And he's like, "Teletran 1 is going to put you guys back together. And they're going to give you a new body, like a new transform ability that is kind of like the things we see on Earth." Basically saying, you guys are going to be cars and planes, the things from Earth. So he loads the program into Teletran 1 to start rebuilding the Transformers. And lo and behold, the first one that gets put together is none other than Starscream. And Jetfire's like, "Oh, my old friend, I haven't seen you in centuries." And Starscream's like, "Hey, thanks for putting me back together." And immediately looks on the ground and sees Bumblebee, a fan favorite, by the way, and just blasts him in the face. Just I guess finishing the job, making sure that no, he's not coming back, that Teletran 1 can't do anything. And Jetfire's in shock. He's like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Starscream is beginning to tell him, "Hey man, we've been at war for years. Okay, so step aside." And then him and Jetfire get into a little scuffle, and Starscream's like, "And I got to do what I got to do," because he's the psychotic one. He's also my favorite Transformer because he's all over the place and he just wants to rule, and he's just so psychotic, and he does whatever he can do: lie, steal, cheat, kill, manipulate, anything to get the job done. And he always fails, but that's just who he is, and he's always Megatron's #2 in the G1 series. It's quite the unique character. We'll see here. He shoots Jetfire and he's like, "Man, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is weakness. What a waste." You know, he's like, "We must be vigilant. We must wipe them all out." So immediately, as he goes to probably end Jetfire and any other Autobot, looks like Ratchet, Optimus Prime has been brought back. and he comes in clutch with a clothesline. And you're going to love this series because there's a lot of WWE in this series, okay? So he hits Starscream with the clothesline. And he's like, I thought you were a warrior, Starscream. Starscream looks at him and says, unlike you, Optimus Prime, I'll do whatever it takes. So they look like they're getting ready to go into battle. And Prime hits him with, I believe, the German suplex right in front of Spike and Carly. And Spike's like, run. And Prime finally notices the humans. He's like, what are you? Like, you must be the creatures that live here. All while Starscream gets up and he starts shooting. And then before he could take out Prime, Ratchet has been brought back. And he kicks Starscream in the side. This book is filled. It's filled with stuff. I love it. The action, and you don't know what's coming next and what's gonna happen. I love it. So now you got Ratchet and Prime, but Teletran 1 is still putting Transformers together, and Skywarp is up and he's laying it down. He's making sure that Prime and Ratchet take cover. And Starscream's like, Skywarp, Teletran 1 is reconstructing us randomly. Bring our fellow warriors over here. So Starscream's got a plan. He's like, bring all the Decepticons over so we get brought back first. You can see him dragging Soundwave, and they start rebuilding the Decepticons. So Prime looks over at the trailer, and he's like, hey, we got to load up our fallen comrades in there and see if we can get them out. And he also notices his gun, right? And he's like, I got to get this gun. It'll change the fight. So as he's running to get the gun and Ratchet's loading up the fallen Autobots into the back of the trailer, you see Soundwave has been reborn and he's active, and immediately uses that shoulder cannon and blasts Optimus Prime. You can see the explosion. Ratchet's looking over there like, oh my gosh, is Optimus all right? And then it happens. Prime sees the dead body of Bumblebee, and he's just like, Bumblebee. And I'm shocked that they went this route and did this with a fan favorite. Does that mean he's gone forever? I have no idea. But you could see Prime just visibly upset, and everything just kind of stops as he looks at his old friend. And again, Bumblebee, a Transformer favorite, for them to kill him off in the first episode of this series is crazy to me. I can't believe that happened, but here we are. And while Prime is mourning his friend, Starscream comes out of nowhere and puts him in a chokehold, and he's like, look at you mourning over the weakest of them all, just like throwing insults. You got Soundwave, he ejects Ravage, so Ravage is reborn. And this whole time, Prime is just reaching for his gun. He's like, if I can get my gun, I could change this fight. So what does Spike and Carly do? They run and they push the gun. Prime gets it in his hands, turns around and just destroys Ravage. You can see Soundwave like, no. And every time I see them talking, the voices that I have for them are all from the original cartoon that came out long ago. Like that's what I hear when I read this comic book series. And what voice, I got Peter Cullen, I got all of them in my head when I'm reading this, So Teletran 1 is still bringing Decepticons back. And then you have it. He's like, would you just die already? He goes for the curb stomp on Prime. Prime moves out of the way, and he does something that he doesn't want to do, but he has to do. Takes his gun and he blows up Teletran 1, taking one of the Decepticons with him. You can see Starscream screaming, no! And Ratchet's like, man, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here. And one of the coolest, I guess you call them splash pages, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you see Prime scooping up Spike and Carly and running through the flames while there's gunfire and everything going on. And Starscream is yelling at the fellow Decepticons, what's going on? And he's like, we got low power. We don't have enough power for this fight. We can't do this. And then we get the line, Optimus Prime transforms and says the thing. He's like, roll out, and off they go to an escape. Now they're being chased by the Decepticons, and Jetfire has awoken, weak, and he's like, I can't believe this. There's Prime. They're trying to kill Prime. And he's like, I got to go help my friend. So he goes after Starscream in his weakened state. Starscream's like, what the heck? Turns around and just blasts Jetfire. So now Starscream has not only taken out Bumblebee, but it looks like he's taken out Jetfire. Two huge fan favorites in the G1 Transformers are taken out in the very first episode. This is shocking. And the Decepticons are telling Starscream, look, we don't have enough Energon. We don't have enough energy for this fight. We've got to find some energy, and we can make this happen. Prime goes to a hideout spot, sees his friend Jetfire, and Jetfire goes through all the emotions of, this is my fault. Please forgive me. I didn't know we were at war. I haven't seen you in so long. And Prime is telling him, hey, you have nothing to be sorry about. There's no need for forgiveness. You were doing what you thought was right. And as we sit there, Jetfire passes on. No more Jetfire and Bumblebee. Getting back to the Decepticons, Starscream is screaming at Soundwave, can you get this thing fixed? Teletran 1, he's like, nah, we can't fix it. And Soundwave is still like upset about Ravage. And, you know, and Soundwave's like, I think we got to find Mega. He almost said it. He almost said Megatron. And Starscream stops him. He says, do not say his name. I am the leader of the Decepticons now. And immediately we go back to Spike's dad. And he's just getting off work. And he's trying to get just go home and not deal with anything. And his friend is like, hey, man, you need to really be a father to your son. He goes, you know what, Dave? You don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone. And while they're getting ready to get into an argument, Starscream shows up at this power plant. And he's mumbling and all upset. And he's like, man, I got to do all the work myself, you know. I'm supposed to be the leader. And Starscream notices humans. And he's like, what's this? And you can see they drew like an evil grin on his face. And he's like, are you the creatures that live in this place? And Starscream picks up Spike's dad's friend, Dave, and just squishes him like a grape. And that is the end of episode 1. You can see Starscream's face saying, so pathetic. And I love it. This set the tone for the whole series. And I can't wait to get into all of it and share this with you. I hope you liked the first set. Let me know what you thought of number 1, Transformers number 1. Put it in the comment section below. And also, if you're watching these videos and you're like, man, I would love these books myself, I'm going to put the Amazon link to volume 1, and they also have volume 2 out already in the top of the description. You can go check it out and get it on Amazon if you want to go through it yourself. Anyway, number 1 is done. Thanks for watching. This is Jay. We're going to go through the whole series. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that stuff, and we'll catch you next time.